And on tonight, instead of having a discussion like we normally do on our longer shows, we're actually going to do a video because this came up and it was just too good to pass up. I actually took some notes on it just so I was ready for it. And we're going to play that video clip for you here right now.
I mean,
our laws used to be based on morality. That's why I'm sorry, but this monument to Satan in Oklahoma is wrong, because we are not a nation. I'm sorry, but we are a Christian Judeo nation. So we are based on Judeo-Christian values. That's not a religion. That is just how we put our laws together. So putting the Ten Commandments up is just a monument of where we got our laws. Putting a satanic monument up next to the Ten Commandments,
which they're trying to do in Oklahoma City,
that has nothing to do with our country.
That's just
nothing
sheer evil.
To do. You can put that up on your own land.
Evil. Yeah,
that does not go in front of the courthouse as a balance to the Ten Commandments, because the Ten Commandments, that's where we get our law. That's why it's in front of the courthouse. We get our law from the laws of Moses. We don't get our laws from Satan. It's truly insanity. And it's immoral. We have taken our laws. We may now be getting our laws from Satan, but it's truly immoral where we're headed.
Okay. Glenn Beck, he's such a peach, isn't he? He's such a nice guy, being the asshole he is. God,
I need a hall pass. I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah, no. No kidding. The fact that he had a show and he got kicked off the air because he was so much of a fucking nut job to begin with. But I'm going to address some of his comments here. One, he said the laws, based on Moses' writings here, basically. He said, and he said the laws are based on morality. It's like, first of all, laws are not based on morality. They are definitely not the same thing. The laws are based and created based on the needs and the desires of the people for many reasons. Safety and ethics are just for a couple. For example, on more than ethical standards, if let's say there's a baby in a carriage or whatever, or baby seat or whatever, and it's about to fall off the edge of a cliff or something, morally, to go and grab that baby and save it, that's the moral thing to do. Legally, you have no legal need to do that. You could stand there, watch this baby go over, and you would still be legally exempt from the law. Laws are not about morals. Because if they were, it just would be fucking pandemonium here. Look over in those other countries, which are theocracies to begin with. Those laws are based on their moral laws. And people are getting arrested because they are breaking some kind of moral code. They got moral police roaming around just because of the way they think the law should be, or because the way they think you're acting is not based on... is just based on what they believe. Not any real hard laws, but what they believe. And he said that this is a Christian nation. Bullshit! Beck, you are full of shit again! And here's why. The Treaty of Tripoli, for example, just one of so many here, was signed in November 4th of 1796. Beck, before you were born, before I was born. And it was signed again on January 3rd of 1797, and was signed by President John Adams, and it took effect on June 10th of 1797. Plus, the founding fathers wanted us, if they wanted us to be a Christian nation, it would be written into the Constitution, which it's not. And some people say, "Oh well, it says that we're endowed by our Creator." Yeah, that's a whole different document. That is the Declaration of Independence. That's not our Constitution. The Declaration of Independence.
It says "Year of Our Lord."
Yeah.
Which, at that time is how they said.
Yeah, that's how they said things. Yeah. But that's as far as it. That's as far as it goes.
Colloquialisms of the time.
Exactly. But it doesn't necessarily have any God reference other than that in it. And it's Christian values, and he says that Christian values the Judeo-Christian things. He says it's not a religion. Those are basically implying that is a religion. And if we did get our laws from the 10 Commandments, then what about the other 603 laws? You know, and the 10 laws that they're counting on, the first several laws that are on there are all about his ego. You know, just like, don't do this because it's going to make me unhappy. Don't do this because I need to do this. You need to pray to me and don't have any of the gods for me and all this other crap.
How many commandments did you say? 6?
There's
it's the first 4
it's the first 4. Yeah, I said
with how you interact with God.
Right.
Like to have no other gods before me.
Right.
And then the last 6 have to actually do with behavior.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. No, I said the first several. I didn't say the first 6.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, and then when he says the part about if you want to put it out on your own land, you want to put a statue of Satan out on your own land, you go ahead. You know what? Same thing goes to you, fucker. If you want to put a 10 Commandments on your lawn, or if you want to put a big Jesus statue, or him nailed to a cross, you go right a fucking head. There's no law stopping you from doing it. But this is public land. First of all, they said the way the law is written, and it should be enforced. But down in Oklahoma, they decided, we're going to do something different. We're going to say everybody can do it. You know, and you know the fact is, if you're going to allow one, you have to allow the other. And what they're doing is they're tucking tail on this shit because they're saying, we're going to let you put this one up, but then all of a sudden, all these other religions are, we want our say too. Well, we didn't really want it to have all religions. We want it to just be to give an exception to our religion. No, that's not what this law is for. You know, you guys wrote the law to let all these religions have a say out there, so you better fucking do it. In the last part where he says we're under Satan's laws now. You know, we're following Satan's laws now. You know, that's a little dig at the president. You know, and first of all, idiot.
You think?
Yeah, I think so. Beck, you're a fucking idiot, and it's a little, ad hominem. But the thing is that Barack Obama has only been president for 7 years now, not even quite 7 years. He didn't come in as soon as he became president, didn't rewrite all the fucking laws out there. Then he's like, we're going to change this for you cannot murder on a Wednesday. He didn't do that. The laws of our country have already been established. Just because we have a president in office doesn't mean all the laws get changed immediately. It's a fucking stupid ass argument, and I'm pretty sure he was being it to be more ad hominem than anything else. Joe, your thoughts?
Well, it's a prophecy of the end times.
Yeah.
Obama is the Antichrist.
Yeah.
I think Obama's also in his 5th year, or coming up on the 6th year anniversary now.
Yeah, something like that. I'm sorry. 5th year.
You should get State of the Union at the end of this month.
Right.
Yeah.
Just so we don't have to correct it next week.
Yeah.
But I watched this video and it's very comical. And when he started going off about the planned Satanist monument, as you mentioned, he said it would be fine on public land and fine on private land, but not on public land.
Right.
I laughed so hard. I thought, gee, I wonder where I heard that argument before. He went on to say that our laws are based on the laws of Moses, and the 10 Commandments are therefore appropriate on the lawn of a courthouse. Now, Dawkins Dog in the chat room pointed out that American law is not based on Christianity; it's based on English common law.
Right.
So right there, boom, it's nonsense. Like he's just talking right out of his ass.
Yeah. He also said that the U.S. was founded on if the U.S. was founded on Christianity, it's surely the First Amendment would breach the First Commandment.
That's a great point.
Yep.
I like that point.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of laws of Moses, but if you actually went around following them, you'd wind up in jail.
Absolutely. Yeah, and one of the other 10 Commandments, they're only following these 10 Commandments because these are the ones they like. There's the other 10 Commandments that he came down with also originally. Not don't boil a goat in its mother's milk. I mean,
right.
Yeah, that's always a big problem around here,
There's all the rules in Deuteronomy and Leviticus,
yeah.
And if you followed all the laws in the Bible, you wouldn't be allowed to eat at Red Lobster.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't shave your beard. You couldn't wear mixed fabrics.
Right.
Many of the laws of Moses
shave
have
your
to
face.
do with
You wouldn't be able. You wouldn't be able to shave.
Trim your beard, right? Many of the laws of Moses have to deal with who should be murdered for making silly offenses against God.
Mm-hmm.
So right there, if you touch Mount Sinai,
yeah,
you're to be put to death. If you pick up sticks on a Sunday, you should be put to death. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
If a woman's not a virgin on her wedding day, she should be put to death.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. So,
and the women should have to go out in a tent during their monthly cycle, until it's done, and you're not supposed to sit in a seat that a woman had her monthly cycle in.
Right. I mean, the people who are pro-Christian monument in front of courthouses don't take into account that the laws are all or nothing. It's if you allow it, you have to allow everyone else's religion to have a monument too, which is why the Satanists are pushing to put in a monument. It's why the atheists put a monument in front of a courthouse in Florida.
Right.
And they're not happy about it. They're like, well, it's not right. It's not fair. We want just our monument. Well, it's not a country of just Christians. If you are going to go putting monuments on public land, you have to let everyone in.
That's right.
Which is why we don't like to let people in, because it's not good.
That's right. If you want to put it, and I said it once, he doesn't get it. He said it. If you want to do it on your own lawn, you go right ahead. The same fucking thing applies to him. He doesn't. When he said that, I was like, oh my God, he didn't see the irony of what he just fucking said. I'm surprised. Later on he'll be looking and go, oh, that's what they meant. And like
it's completely a self-contradictory position to have.
Absolutely.
I mean, the guy that's in the video with him, he says something about the Satanist monument, and the guy is like, and that's just pure evil. That's just pure evil.
Oh
yeah,
well, evil.
What defines evil?
Right.
Like, is
and
Satan
the devil,
real?
Exactly. In the Bible, the devil is actually probably the good guy in this, because he didn't kill anybody without God's permission. And God's actually killed more than the devil had.
He didn't kill nearly as many people, and on top of that, God and the devil made wagers with each other to inflict suffering on people.
Right.
Just for the fun of it, just because that's hilarious.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do on a Friday night?
We can go. Well, no, God can go to Colorado and smoke weed.
That's my pot.
My pot now. Connie, your thoughts?
Well, when he says a satanic monument next to the Ten Commandments has nothing to do with our country, and I'm thinking, actually, it has a lot to do, and you've already covered that. But no, our founding fathers, obviously they weren't all Christians, and people like Beck and Barton and Pat Robertson, they all like to obfuscate and just try and null that statement. And actually, they were highly influenced by Greco-Roman, Hellenic and Roman history. They were very impressed with that, and that's why they learned from basically from Greece's basically their mistakes when they set up their democracy. Anyway, no. When I was in high school, I remember the Pat Robertsons and other preachers where they were decrying how public school teachers were teaching history wrong. They were trying to say that, well, Thomas Jefferson wasn't a saint. He wasn't a Christian, and how he had little redheaded slaves running around his plantation, and they just thought this was awful that and they called these people revisionists.
Yeah.
What I can say is that Pat Robertson and David Barton and Glenn Beck and Brian Fisher have taken notes, and what we see right now with the fundamentalists is that they are using the same tactics that they used to decry. Mm-hmm. And not just here, obviously, like with abortion. It used to be called anti-abortionists. Well, they didn't like that, so they flipped it. No, we're pro-life, and you're anti-life. And that's all they're doing. That's the stupid. It's a stupid game. It's like a grade school play yard tactic that they're using, and I think it shows the desperation of the deeply, moronic and blind right wing that I think they're grasping at straws.
Oh yeah,
and they just don't and they see that their career light is flashing, and they don't want it to be done, and it's getting ugly. But that's only because it's, they're finding that their base is probably not as, they have to keep them stupid.
Yeah.
They have to keep them illiterate. That's why they're attacking science. That's why they're attacking history. They don't want everybody to know. So, one of my least favorite people, Glenn Beck, and by the way, I would like to know where in the Ten Commandments, the Mosaic Law gave them the right to bear arms, and if that is also true, then why do they serve lobster Newburg in the Capitol?
Right.